What's up, people? I am the national treasure. I am Lou Betya, back for another 5-star edition of Props to Consider and Then Maybe Bet. If you haven't already, even though it has nothing to do with MMA, please check out the World Cup primer videos I put on the channel earlier today. It's like a month's worth of betting. I did art, lots of cool stuff. And also, please like and subscribe to the channel. We got Brady, DFS By the Numbers, great dude, puts in a lot of work. Wheezy puts in a lot of work. Monk Petition, awesome hairdo, and puts in a lot of work. We're all trying to give you guys edges every week on the DFS and betting perspective of the MMA world. Without further ado, last week, Moicano sub, your boy had you covered. Other bets, I hope you didn't listen. But we got Moicano sub. And if I can hit one banger a week, that's great. So without further ado, let me bring in, as we approach Thanksgiving, one of my favorite people in the space. Got to help me even start doing this. He bought me that lamp over there, I think. My guy, Brady, a.k.a. DFS By the Numbers, my brother. How you doing? And can we talk about how we both had a eerily similar betting week?
Last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird one, man. I mean, I felt like, I don't know. I lost every bet up until like the 7th fight. And once that 7th fight hit, I hit every single bet since then. So it was a good comeback week for sure.
Brady and I were talking, and it's like, Jesus, how are we stuck so bad on this card? And then by the end of the night, Brady like killed it. And I was like up. I had nothing on the main event, but I was like up 1.4 units. And I'm like, this feels like a massive win for me. The Moicano sub like really saved my bacon. But I think a lot of people in the community thought Dan Hooker was a bum. Brady, is he a bum?
He's officially not a bum. I think we found out who the bum was in the matchup.
Yeah, that's sorry. I don't want to, I have a policy that my guests can't be taller than me.
Okay.
Well, I'm look, man, you've been a tall person your whole life.
That is true.
My dad is like 5'6". I'm the giant of the Betya compound. So, but without further ado, it is Chase Sherman fight week. It is our last fight week before the holiday. This is my last prop show before my birthday. So feel honored, Brady, that before I before the gray here becomes the gray everywhere, you're getting to do this show. So without further ado, nobody's here for my nonsense. They're here for you. What is your first prop to consider and then maybe bet for this UFC card?
So I'm going to go from worst odds and then going to end it with a bang. So
there are no rules. There are no rules on this show.
No rules?
I don't care what you do. I know the guy that owns the channel, and I know the guy that polices the channel. So I think you're all right.
Should be good. But my first one is going to be kind of start out simple. I'm going to go with Jack Della to win by first round knockout, plus 185, short and sweet. Man, I did not like how Danny Roberts looked in his last fight against old man Trinaldo. I mean, Trinaldo was rocking him with everything that landed. And, Jack's a beast, finished all but one of his wins. The one when he didn't finish was against Angelusa. And to be honest, I don't know how Angelusa survived that fight. Danny Roberts, now 35 years old, taking a ton of damage, knocked out a ton in the UFC, hurt a ton in the UFC. Trinaldo wasn't able to finish the job, but I think Jack does here. He's a big favorite, but I think he finishes one pretty early. So first round knockout, plus 185, short and sweet there.
All right. Well, I guess I got to give my lowest odds one then. And by the way, Jack Della should just steamroll this fool.
I hope.
I may actually look at the under half around there, but as a fun prop. So let me start with, this is a combo play for me. The lowest bet I have is Charles Johnson, Zalmagulis to end in split decision at plus 400. And then on top of that, I like Energy. You and I had talked about this yesterday. It's crazy that I almost nailed the odds perfectly. I missed the Energy split by a little bit, but Energy plus 800 to win by split. The fight in general to end at split at plus 400. Short and sweet, Zalgas just fights a style that's awful to the judges. I thought he beat Maddalena. The judges did not agree. He seems pretty tough. He's durable. Charles Johnson is not like a knockout artist. He's not like his best thing is that he defends takedowns well, like that he's defensively responsible. So I feel like this is a fight with no damage. at all. And when I feel like that, that's a fight where I always want to be on the split decision because nobody's going to know what the hell to do with it. But I feel like they're giving Charles, there's a narrative reason this is weird. They're giving Charles Johnson this fight almost as like a thanks for taking the Makayev fight. But then Makayev was 1-3 and they extended his contract, which is like such a strange thing to do. Like, why would you extend it, guys? So it's clear that Dana White thinks he probably won at least one of those fights. But I feel like we're just headed toward another decision 90% of the time. And it's probably going to be a weird split because no damage. So give me energy, buy split at plus 800, but also back it up with the fight to end and split at plus 400. Brady, let it rip, brother.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, 90% of Zalgas' fights are close, so I love that. The only reason I'm not betting it is because every time I bet a split decision, the fight finishes in like the first round for some reason. Like,
So you asked Tim Troiano first?
No,
because he's like the split whisperer.
He is. But my next one here, I'm going to, like you said, it's Chase Sherman fight week, so it'd be a crime to not bring out a Chase Sherman prop. And this one's not like crazy or anything, but it just doesn't make a ton of sense. The Sherman scorecards equals no action. Same thing as the finish only on Bet Online is plus 250. I think that should be a pick 'em. I think it absolutely should. I think the fight in general should be a pick 'em. There's a lot of things going against Waldo. He's coming on short notice. He just fought 2.5 weeks ago. Took a lot of damage in that fight. I mean, this guy was limping around in the first round.
He got leg kicked a ton.
Yeah. And what does Chase Sherman do? He throws a lot of I went back and looked. He lands a lot of leg kicks. And if Chase Sherman had any fight IQ at all, which maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, he's going to kick those legs early and often. So on top of that, I mean, plus 250 for the Sherman no scorecard. Sherman's the better finisher. Sherman finished Jared Vandera whenever Waldo couldn't. Sherman's finished all but one of his wins, and Sherman's 1-4 in decisions. So I just feel like that scorecard should be a pick 'em at worst. And yeah, I even don't mind a shot on like the Sherman by knockout because even that's like plus 450. I mean, this guy, he has power, so it doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I know Sherman's bad, but is Waldo much better? I just don't really get this line. I mean, it's actually kind of scaring me. Like, is Sherman coming in with like a non-disclosed shoulder injury? Is it a leg injury? Like, what's going on with this line?
Dude, by the way, your Brady Bunch background is like fucking so awesome. I just wanted to say this.
I wish you could see the full thing. It has
I know, but like I'm just laughing. I'm like, because I know it's like I told you're like, is this a good one? I'm like, yes. So now, but like it's setting in how like fucking funny it really is.
Awesome,
so all right. So while we're on the Sherman fight, because I'm like, and this isn't a DFS show, but you and I are both DFS guys.
Mm-hmm.
With Cody's fight being canceled because it's 6,900. Man, I was like gonna load up on Brundage. Is Chase Sherman like at 7,100? Like, is he not like out of all them like low options? Like, because like Derek Lewis is gonna be super popular at his salary, but my God, like, so I'm gonna trump you here, and I'm gonna give shout out to my boy Eric Betts Fights. I'm going out of order now, but I have to. I took the Sherman round 3 KO, man.
Oh,
like,
nice.
Plus 1,800, which, by the way, his last round 3 was like 50-1 against Vandera. So it's crazy. But like, there's a couple things here. Like, you brought up like short turnaround, the leg kicks, like, which I agree with. But also, I hearken back to when you and I broke down his fight on the Contender Series, and you were like, oh boy. You were like, oh boy, there's this. Then there's this fight. And I know it's a bad fight when you A, say that, and B, say Lou go first. That's when I know that you're like, nope. You're like, let me see what, like, let Lou hang himself and like do his goddamn thing. And then like, you'd be like, yep, I agree, I guess, because this is terrible. He's bad. Like, Acosta throws punches like he's trying to throw somebody out at home plate from right field. Like, he doesn't have a jab. It's everything he throws is, and I said this last night. I did like a breakdown of like all the fights last night with my guy Dale, Punch List MMA, which, by the way, check that show out if you guys are watching this. It was great. We've seen so many people on short notice fight, like turn around and fight like in less than a month. And unless your name's Chris Lieben, it just does not work out. Like, Lupa Godinez dominated, and I know she fought up a weight class, like, I guess Carolina, and I understand it, but like, she didn't look right. And that's the thing, is like, doing a fight camp and then immediately turning around and doing another one. especially even if you don't think you took damage, it's a horrible move. I don't know why they booked this, but this is like, I can't believe I'm saying that Sherman is one of my favorite bets on the card. I think he's going to crush Acosta. I'm hesitant on the knockout because Acosta is undefeated, and we just haven't seen his durability really tested. Like, the dude could be like crazy durable, and I don't know. Like, we just haven't seen it. So, and Sherman at plus 185 is good enough for me. But I like round 3 knockouts because they pay more. So give me Sherman round 3 KO at plus 1800. I mean, do I hate that I made this bet? Not as much as you think. Because Eric will be proud of me for making this bet. You know, we mocked him the last time he did this. Patrick, Addicted to Combat, and I mocked him. We all did the show live. We mocked him hardcore for his bet.
And it hit.
And Eric, to his credit, is not an asshole. But he was probably more of an asshole than he's ever been in his life to be like, I told you so. And it was like, shame. All right, Brady, what's your next prop?
All right, I know you don't agree with this one. Maybe you do a little bit, but I feel like this is her win condition, and it's going to be Vanessa Demopolis by sub, and it is at plus 370. I don't think either fighter is really good at all, but Demopolis super dangerous on the mat. Oliveira's been submitted twice. Demopolis, her takedown accuracy is 7%, but she has that fight ready. She's working on that. She landed a very nice takedown there in the last fight against Jin Yu Fry, who's very hard to take down. I feel like if she gets this fight down to the mat once, there is going to be some opportunities. So you get Demopolis by submission, plus 370. Not my favorite play in the world. Not a fight I'm actually going to bet, but that line kind of stuck out there. I think it's her win condition.
Well, then I guess I got to pull out this prop. I do not agree. And in fact, I have Oliveira by KO at plus 700. Now, there's a couple of fights in this card, like, I know it's a different fight, but like the Bleda Silva fight that opens, where we're kind of capping. You can, like, everybody can talk about all the tape they're doing, but like, aren't we really capping on 15 minutes of tape for each?
So,
like,
Silva especially, yeah.
And well, on Bleda, like, she fought like the only opponent that was like credible. So it's hard to make these bets. So I feel like with this Oliveira Demopolis fight, we're doing the same thing. Oliveira fights Della, who beat Luke's chick. She beat Jujua. So of course the line was minus 200 because Luke was telling everybody in the world, like, Luke. I don't think Luke watches the show, but like, I may have to be like, you need to at least watch the 13-minute mark.
Yeah.
So Oliveira looked great, but her tape didn't. But her tape didn't match that output. Meanwhile, Demopolis, what's her striking defense? Isn't it like 28%? No, like it's terrible. It's bad. Facing a striker, she went for one takedown in that Jin Yu Fray fight. Now, I bet Demopolis in that fight, so like I love the result, but I could debate that she lost that fight. She went for one takedown. She's gone for one takedown in 4 fights. So I understand like the narrative that if she gets her down, she probably subs her. I understand it completely. But she hasn't proven that that's even the game plan. And if she stays in the feud with Oliveira, she could get pieced up. And Oliveira might knock her out. So if you're asked, like, so let me combo this. I kind of like the idea of Oliveira KO and Demopolis sub. Like, don't bet much on this kind of fight.
Yeah.
But instead of taking a side, take a shot on 2 props. Like, Oliveira could win a volume-based decision, and Demopolis could win. Like, I'm not disputing that they can't win by decision. But if Demopolis doesn't go for takedowns, she might get knocked out here. And to your point, if she gets Oliveira down once, it might be all she wrote. So, I mean, DePaula didn't do it. That was a weird fight. You were there, right?
I was there, and I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. Did you like regret your career choice? You're like, you didn't have any money on that fight, though.
No, absolutely not. So I was watching and being like, wow, Oliveira looks better.
And she got the crowd on her side too. I mean, at least from the TV perspective. I don't know how you was that was the weekend that Eric got Tank Abbott to shout us all out.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yo, Brandy.
Brandy.
I was like, oh man. Then he's like, Lou, I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm like, all right, go back to Brandy. Enough of me. All right, what's your next prop, dude?
All right, my next prop is going to be Sergey Spivak to win by submission at plus 390. Yeah, I think he's not going to strike with Lewis. If he does that, he's probably getting knocked out. I think it's going to be takedowns as soon as the fight starts. He's not going to want to stay at range with Lewis for any point of time where he's getting knocked out. But yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of grappling, and he has solid grappling. I mean, this guy's a 40% submission rate, so he has just I think like one more knockout than he has submissions. Obviously, I could see like a TKO. I think that's in play, but like you say, Lou, the sub pays better, much better. The KO is plus 160 and the submission is plus 390. I could see him subbing Lewis. Lewis has been subbed before by Daniel Cormier. I could see him taking his back and potentially choking him out. So give me the sub plus 390. I think he submits Lewis.
I like the sub. That's a great prop. And also thank you for the shout out for my own quote. I like the sub there too. I didn't write it down in my props, but I love it because you got to think Lewis at this point in his career, if it's like, and it doesn't even need to be like an instant sub. If it's 2 rounds of just Spivak grappling him, if Spivak comes in with the right game plan, just he may just sap Lewis's will to want to fight anymore. Like this could be like he just barely gets the choke in, and he's like, I'm fucking done with this. Like, I mean, no joke. Like I think I can see that. I gave out last night, and this isn't for the show, but I said, if you get past the second round of this fight, Lewis is still there, and he's like 10-1. I think you have to auto live bet him. It's no longer about the skill set. It's about a guy that's fought 5 rounds versus Spivak, who's still on the up. Where we've seen Lewis's power carry like crazy late. Like, what kind of odds do you need live on him to be like, I have to bet this?
I'd take 10-1 in the second round because he's live at any time.
Like, I think you have to. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
because his win condition is not win a decision. It's
No.
you're getting 10-1 on him to land a bomb in 15 minutes. But all right, I will go to my next prop, and I'm stealing this one a little bit from Patrick. Oh, not stealing it, but I'm actually gonna go tamer than Patrick on this prop. I'm thinking Miles Johns round 3 at a plus 1100. I bet on Vince Morales last time to bonk Martinez, and I take that bet every time. He was plus 900 for the KO. And I said on all the shows, one of two things is going to happen. Martinez is going to leg kick him for 15 minutes, or Morales is going to bonk him. And what happened? Morales leg kicked him for 15 minutes, or Martinez leg kicked him for 15 minutes. But still, that was Morales' win condition. Johns has shown some, like, maybe his durability is not great, and it's short notice. So there's things I don't love against Johns. But there's 2 things Morales is horrible at: checking leg kicks and stopping takedowns. And I kind of feel like that's what, like, right?
Yeah.
Kind of feel like that's the game plan here. And Miles Johns is like, isn't he infuriating as a gambler and a fan?
Of course.
Like, because his skill set is like borderline top 5. Like, I honestly think like he has this insane skill set. He just can't do it, but like he can't put it together. He's like gravelly. Like, it's like skill set's good, and then he dies. And it's like, oh, that was a bad bet. So John's round 3 at plus 1100. I love. My guy Patrick, shout out to Dick to Combat. He's taking John's round 3 sub. And I don't like not having the bigger balls for a bet like that, but like, I don't know why he can't win by KO. And like, if I bet the KO, he's subbing him. If I bet the sub, he's KOing him. And 1100 is not a great round 3 like number, but I'm going with it, man.
What about fight to end in round 3 in general at plus 800? Like the last 3 Johns fights ended in round 3: Castaneda, Dos Santos, and Natividad.
I don't trust Morales to have, if Johns is going for takedowns, I don't trust Morales. That power does not carry with him. But I like that. But you saying 800?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd sacrifice $3 for that. That's not a bad look. I mean, like, Morales still, like, he's got some power. I don't think he has technical skill. What worries me about Morales is, like, we saw it against the Martinez fight. He had no urgency. I think the leg kick sapped him of his fucking will to fight, and he just wanted to survive. Because he lost the 3rd round. And that, like, I don't mind when I see a dude that wins the 3rd round after losing the first 2. I always look at that like that's a guy I want to bet on because like at least he'll fight for me. And Morales kind of looks at, but I honestly don't care. The way some of these fights have been ending with like torn ACLs and like some of this weird variance we've seen lately, 800 is not a bad look there. But how many more props you got?
I got 2 more. How about you?
I got one. You're the champ. So go, and then I'll give you mine, and you give me yours, and we'll talk about some Yan baggage.
All right, let's do it. So, yeah, my next one.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the big guy.
Not yet. It's coming up. It's getting close. This is my biggest one yet thus far, so that should be fun. Give me Ion Kudalaba to win in the first round by knockout. This guy has 13 first-round finishes. Kennedy and Zachuku, the Homer Simpson.
What's your number?
800.
Okay.
Kennedy and Zachuku, the Homer Simpson of the light heavyweight division. He's a guy that his path to victory is getting his ass whooped for 5.5, 6.5 minutes until he could take over. And I just don't know if that's going to work against a guy like Kudalaba. Like, this is going to be probably arguably the second most dangerous guy that Kennedy's fought, right behind Paul Craig, and Paul Craig subbed him. But I think Kudalaba is going to go out there like a madman. And if Kennedy just stands there like an idiot, I feel like Kudalaba can knock him out on the feet, take him down, pound him out. Because like I said, he starts so slow. I don't know what it is with Kennedy. It takes him a while to get going. The performance where he didn't do that was against Carl Roberson, who's awful. So I think that's Kudalaba's path to victory is that first round TKO, KO. Kennedy's been knocked out before. Remember that elbow from Da Un Jung that hit the guard?
Oh, that was through his guard. Guard, man.
Yeah.
Like,
and Kudalaba can crack. So I think that's his win condition at plus 800. I'm taking a shot there.
There are betting days and DFS days where like it doesn't take long into the first fight where I'm like, I do like,
yes,
I'm like, yep, it's that kind of day, man. And that, and like, yeah, that was that kind of day for me. That was a brutal. So, well, now I'm going to come back at you with what happens. That's funny because my last prop is what happens if your result does not happen.
Yeah.
Kennedy, look, I know you're going to top me with your last prop. Kennedy round 2 submission is plus 2,800. If this thing gets out of the first, because I'm torn here, man. Like we talked about this last night. Like I feel like I'm on an island with Kennedy, which is weird. Because like you and a couple other people are like, oh, Kudalaba, like, and he's fighting for his job, but like this thing gets out of the first. And like the Homer Simpson thing did in fact work. Kudalaba's dead. Like, and he just got subbed by Johnny fucking Walker. Johnny Walker subbed him. Like, so why can't Kennedy, man? So at plus 2,800 round 2 sub, I'll bet both. I'll bet the Kudalaba round 1 KO. Like, I'll fire the 2 darts because I think Kudalaba's like, what's his win condition? It's not round 3.
No,
it's round 1.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get him out of there and he just gasses himself, the one thing about Zachuku you can say is like his tanks, say you don't have a skill set, but his tank's been decent.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
So if the Homer Simpson thing works, like round 2 it's probably ends in round 2. It's like a Jordan Wright, the Disco Jordan Wright fight, where Jordan Wright like could have finished him, almost finished him, but it didn't matter. You knew. Didn't matter if he might have 10-8'd him. We all knew it was Disco round 2. It was always Disco round 2.
Sadly,
because Wright had thrown every piece of artillery like he had. So, all right, what's your last prop? And I'm very curious to hear because you've been teasing me all day with like this monster and like it. I'm hoping it's a draw, but go ahead. Is it?
Am I the first guess to give out the draw? I hope I am.
Yeah, because Tim didn't.
Okay. I'm going with the draw.
I would have expected Tim to have done it, but I understand why he couldn't.
This makes a lot of sense. Give me the draw in the Ion Kudalaba Kennedy and Zachuku fight. I think Kudalaba can very well 10-8 him. Like, I think that's 110% on the table. Kennedy gets his ass beat early on. Kudalaba is going to be coming out like a madman. He's going to waste all that energy in the first round. And then I could see Kennedy winning the second and third, plus 6,600. Draw Kudalaba 10-8 first round, Kennedy round 2 and round 3. Kudalaba has had a draw before in the UFC against Jacoby, and it was the same thing. Kudalaba got that. I think was it a 10-8 in the third round for Jacoby, or was it a 10-8 in the first round for Kudalaba?
10-8 because he threw him down. I think it was like 9 takedowns.
Yeah.
In the first
So
round.
I think that's very much on the table. I think Kennedy's going to do Homer Simpson this one if it does get extended and get that draw plus 6,600. And if this hits, clip it, and maybe I get famous.
Fuck me. So this is going to lead us to the Yam Bag special. Now, I'm going to let you lead off here because I think it's the same fight. Mm-hmm. But if it is, then it's just going to play right into what you just goddamn said. So go ahead. Or did you go different?
I went different because I knew what you
motherfucker.
I knew what you like, so I could let you talk about it. And it's funny how we're talking so much about this fight.
Can you back up the fact that I have asked DraftKings specifically for a Yam Bag boost on this fight? And like, if they do it, even if they don't call it the Lou Betya special, like I've asked, y'all know. People will look at this and be like, why are they boosting a point deduction? And be like, they'd be like, that idiot. Even if people like hate me on Twitter, would be like, that idiot got a point deduction boost. They'd be like, doesn't hurt to ask. So yes, my Yam Bag. But to your point with the draw, you mentioned Kudalaba's draw. Let's talk about the Zachuku fight that probably should have been a draw.
I know.
Against Negamuranu with the eye pokes. He poked him 9 times. By the way, that is the last Yam Bag bet I won. That was Herb Dean. And his like 5 hard warnings. I'm screaming at the TV. I'm sitting next to my girlfriend's here. I'm like, my God, take the goddamn point, dude. And then he finally did. I'm like, great success. And I think Pepe Silvia had like the draw. And I'm like, oh my. Weezy might have had the draw. Like, I'm like, oh my God, the draw's going to hit. And then and it was weird. That was bad judging that they gave Negamuranu won like 2 of those rounds. But
I know.
But if you're going to take a point deduction, so you're saying Kudalaba could go 10-8, but the point deduction puts the draw in play too. So Brady, I'm taking that draw.
Let's go. I think it's. And
I'm taking the this is the draw bags, as I call it.
Yes.
All right. So what's your Yam Bag special, sir?
Yeah, for Yam Bags, I typically like to go with the most hilariously bad fight on the card.
Oh, I can just write it down now. I know who it is.
So it's Chase Sherman. I mean, it's a Chase Sherman fight.
Auto bags.
I can see so many Yam Bags in this fight. You know, Sherman's going to be trying to kick those legs, and he probably kicks those yams a couple times. I could see it. I mean, yeah, that's my Yam Bag shot for this week.
I had to make sure I was on mute. Like, I'm sorry that I wasn't immediately on mute. All right, so I don't know if you followed the show. You should, but I don't know if you do. So I'm automatically betting $5 in that for you, and that's a free $100 if it wins.
Let's go.
But I'm probably betting more than $5 in that.
Yes.
I may have to throw at least 5 for me as well.
Yeah.
It is like when the rationale is it's Chase Sherman. My first thought is like, of course it is, and like, why didn't I bet it? I'll make a deal with you. I'm not just gonna, because I love you. I'm not just gonna bet $5 on that fight for you.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a $5 2 bags parlay.
Ooh, okay.
It'll pay plus 40,000. I may have done one of these before.
Yeah.
So, I think I parlayed Yam Bags and Dontel Mays round 3 sub against Hamdi because Betway had it at like plus 130. I'm like, I told my buddy, I'm like, send me $5 right now. And he goes, what are you cooking up? I'm like, just send me $5. And then he looked at Pat and it was something like $5,800 with both hit. He's like, oof. He's like, and we need to win 2 fights. I'm like, I mean, we need some extreme luck, but yeah, it's 2. He goes, yeah, but it's not like getting a 10 fight parlay. He's like, it's 2. I'm like, yeah, because I'm a psycho. And he's like, I'm here for it. I'm going to do a 2. I'll throw like $5 on that at plus 40,000 for us.
Let's go.
So, well, that is the end of our show, and you have a very short time frame for your next one. Brady, tell the people where they can find you, and thank you for coming on so much, my brother.
No problem. Meaning to come on for a while. Glad it could be a freaking Chase Sherman card. I mean, it was fun too. We came up with good
Oh,
thoughts.
stop it.
No, I like the car. I mean, kinda. But yeah, thanks for having me on, Lou. As always, you can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers, and I'm gonna be going live in about 10 minutes on Pub Sports Ready with Wheezy, Monk, and Gorda. So check me out there.
Awesome. Don't worry about me for this, guys. Like, follow my Twitter. I do NFL, I do soccer, I do MMA. I'm doing 3 sports now. I don't know how the hell this happens, but please check out the World Cup stuff on the MMA Engine channel. I put a lot of goddamn work into it. I did art. I'm no artist. I did art because I love the people. So, guys, good luck this weekend. Hit your props and protect your bags. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks, where my guest is